Today we're going to be learning a Street Fighter character. But, I mean, maybe I'll do it with a Dragon Ball character too. That might actually be interesting. That's an interesting suggestion. This is like a series that I shot a long time ago when I was playing KI. And I used to do character breakdowns on YouTube. And I made a video during MKX that was like how I learn characters. Just a video, just like how I learn characters. And it was like the breakdown of the order that I learn a character in, right? Well, my original idea was I was gonna random select a character. That was the first idea I had. I was like, you know what I'll do? I'll just random a character. But then I was like, nah, fuck that. We might get somebody whack. So then my idea was like, we should just learn a new character because less people will be familiar with how the character works. Learn Zeku. I've already played a lot of Zeku. I wanted to pick a character that I personally have not played a lot of, and that is relatively new, so people would be more unfamiliar with him, right? That's why I don't want to start with Ryu or somebody who's too basic. Ryu or Ken is like too simple. And then a lot of the other newer characters like Kodiak and Blanca I've played a lot of. And I played Falk as well. Even Sakura I played a lot of in Ed. So a lot of the DLC or new characters I played a lot of. So I decided that it would be G. This is like the character to me that it seems like would be a good way to start and just show off kind of like the basic learning process. I think I usually like learning new characters against Mika. I think it was because her stance, she has a 4-frame and 3-frame button, right, that like I can check punishes on. I like the way her jabs are balanced actually. Crouching jab is 3 frames but doesn't frame trap into command throw or strong. Standing jab is 4-frame but does frame trap strong or lead to a real command throw. The reason I haven't played much G, a lot of people ask me, right? And when G and Sagat came out, I knew that I would like G a lot. That was like my first thing. When I saw how the character worked and I saw the personality of the character, I knew that he was a character I would enjoy. And when I saw Sagat, I knew that he was really basic, but he's going to be a popular character and I'd probably have less fun playing him, right, than G. You know, even though it's fun to throw tiger shots and do uppercuts, like it's, you know, it's not as complex or interesting as G is. So because of that, it's like I thought of Sagat like a bowl of vegetables and G like my dessert. Basically, Sagat was like, all right, I'll play some Sagat and eat my vegetables. I know it's good for me, right? I gotta learn how to play this character, fine. And then G was like the character that was like, once I've learned Sagat, I will reward myself with allowing myself to play the more fun character that I'm interested in playing. Yeah, he's basically broccoli, right? Sagat is just like broccoli. Like, you have to have it sometimes. And when you grow older, you start to like it a lot more than when you're younger. And you're just like, you're just throwing fireballs and doing uppercuts. So, we're going to be learning a character today. Now, when I learn a character from scratch, there's a few things that I look for and keep in mind. When I used to make breakdown videos of how characters work and I taught people characters, my goal is to make a 10-minute video, right? Maybe like 5 to 10 minutes. And it was a breakdown of all the things you needed to know about the character at the most basic level, right? At the most basic level, what does this character do? Strengths and weaknesses, kind of like make a stat list for them, right? Like, what is their mobility like? What are their normals like? What is their play style, right? These are like kind of the things that I was interested in. Feeling when you're finally ranked higher than Sajam. Yeah, I haven't played ranked since maybe February of last year. Not on this account anyway. So this is what I do. First of all, we're gonna open a notepad. And my advice whenever you're learning a character is to open a notepad or open a, if you write handheld notes, right? You like writing by hand, maybe that's more familiar with you, that's fine. But what I do is always open a notepad. So I'm gonna open up a notepad. All right, there's our notepad. We got the notepad on the screen, right? So with the notepad, you're gonna use this to kind of keep track of all your characters and like what they're good at and stuff like that. So what I used to do when I was learning a character, right? What I used to do when I was learning a character is I would start at the very top and like check through all the stuff about this character, right? So that way when I was talking about them or thinking about them, I had this on hand if I wanted to look, right? So first thing I start with is mobility. What do they have for mobility? Sometimes for mobility, there's actually nothing fancy, right? Sometimes when it comes to mobility, the character is not that mobile or they don't have anything to speak of. Walk speed for G, it's pretty average. There's nothing fancy, right? Average walk speed. Backdash. A lot of recovery on the backdash, and it doesn't go that far. Forward dash seems pretty fast. It seems pretty fast, and you can jump, right? Okay. Yeah, it seems decent. Pretty average, right? Pretty actually average. Jump arc seems pretty normal, maybe a little floaty, but nothing special about the jump arc, right? So that's kind of like, you know, what you're thinking about when you're looking at mobility. The other things that come to mobility is stuff like dash punch, EX dash punch being very fast. That's a little bit of extra mobility to think about, right? It's not kind of like traditional mobility, but stuff like this, that's, you know, you can count that a little bit, right? So when I think about G's mobility, he's a bit stiff. He's not that mobile of a character, right? He's kind of stuck wherever he wants to be, and he doesn't really have good ways to slide around. So for mobility for this character, he's like a character I would just put like average mobility, EX dash punch. Just a reminder, I don't need to like write a lot about it, but just EX dash punch, right? Just to make myself think like, oh yeah, he has EX dash punch. That's an okay mobility option, right? And then let's look at normals. We'll start with normals, right? A lot of people like looking at the specials first. One of the most important things with every character is just to understand your basic pokes. When I think you're learning a character, the most important thing to get down in the very beginning is understand the ranges where your normals are good and what normals are good. And also understand your anti-airs. Those are like two of the most important things, right? So those are like what I look for when I'm learning a character from scratch, right? From the very beginning, those are the things that I think are worth like thinking about. You know what I mean? So when it comes to G, right, like that's what I want to figure out, right? His lights. Standing light kick looks like it's pretty decent, right? It's pretty common for standing light kick to have. Let me turn off counter hit. There's a couple of characters lately that have really strong standing light kicks. This seems pretty decent. And it combos into light dash punch. That's great. Right? That's good to keep in mind. A medium punch. It's not that far, right? Standing light kick. Which has farther range? Standing medium punch or standing light kick is the question. I think it's standing light kick, right? Maybe about the same, actually. We can try with a backdash. Neither of them reach. I can move the notepad maybe to the top left or something. But anyway, just to know, right, like what the ranges are in his normals. Some things to test immediately. I can move the notepad, actually. So, like, when you're looking at characters, or when you're looking at normals, there's a few important things to look at, right? Crouching and standing normals. When it comes to lights, you want to see what combos, right? So light like that, that's an important thing to know. Can you do jab, jab? Some characters can't do jab, jab. Like that doesn't combo, right? Does standing light kick combo? Right, that's an important thing to note. Can you do crouching jab into something? Can you do crouching light kick into something? These are important little things that you have to make, you know, kind of think about when it comes to a character. Standing medium punch is really far, right? Can you cancel it? You can't. No cancel, right? Crouching medium punch, you can cancel. And it's a little further than standing medium punch. It's great. So far already, it's pretty clear to us. Standing light kick might be a nice counter poke. Crouching medium punch might be nice as well, right? Seems like it's decent range. Special cancelable. These are nice, important things to remember, right? Standing heavy punch. Special cancelable. And it goes pretty far, right? Seems like it's maybe the farthest range button we've messed with so far, right? Or one of the farthest range. Wow, crouching medium punch is even further than I expected. That's really far. Yeah, farthest range button we've messed with so far. Standing heavy kick, not special cancelable. A little slow on startup, but great range. So far, I think the impression on a lot of pokes from G, can't special cancel? This is important to check. Right, these are important things to do. Just as important as thanking Neon Verite for subscribing. Thanks very much. Usable fiber. I know the answer to all these questions, but we're learning. So please stop doing that already. I can already tell it's gonna frustrate me. These are important things to check in the beginning, right? Crouching medium kick. Can I special cancel it, right? That's an important thing to check. If you see a normal and you're like, wow, that's so far. Like standing heavy kick is a good example. Wow, that's so far. Like, man, I can't believe it, but you can't special cancel it. Then that's something to put in your mind. Like, well, standing heavy kick might be the farthest range button I have, but, you know, this button is special cancelable. So, like, just something to think about, right? When you're learning a character. So these are the kinds of notes that you would write down on your notepad, right? You'd be like, all right, standing light kick, great. Like, nice little light cancel. You can go into light dash punch with it. It combos off of, like, crouching jab, right? So that's like, this is your light button, right? little further away, crouching medium punch is great. You can buffer it. In the medium dash punch, awesome. Heavy punch also is really far. So you have a few counter pokes to keep in mind. So under normals, maybe like you put counter poke, crouching medium punch, counter poke, standing heavy punch, right? That's when you would take a look at the command list and start to figure out what else does he have, right? What are his other unique attacks? He has forward and back heavy punch, as well as forward heavy kick and a splash, flying president in the air. So you'd look at those. Forward heavy punch, really far range, not special cancelable, right? That's important to keep in mind. And back heavy punch looks like it might be an anti-air of some sort, which we'll test next, right? Those are like important. Those are like the checklists you just go through while you're learning a character, right? The splash, cross up, that's important to note. Cross up, and then we can check something like, does he have any other cross ups, right? Like maybe jumping medium kick, right? Maybe jumping light kick. This is like the process you go through, right? Now you're just like, all right, I got to figure it out. So now you start to write some stuff down, and you start to like figure some stuff out, right? So if I'm on my notepad now, this is when I would open up notepad and be like, all right, yeah, I'll make this a little bigger for you guys. All right, normals. You would put maybe like make like a pokes category, light kick, medium punch. Maybe we'll put like, maybe even do it something like cancel, right? Cancel. And you put, like, I don't know, light kick, crouching medium punch, standing heavy punch. What else did we like that was cancelable? I think that was the two main ones, right? And then you just put like pokes, right? Normal pokes, no cancel. Medium kick seemed pretty good. And on that topic of medium kick, something important to check about, like especially in this game, this is a unique to Street Fighter thing, Street Fighter 5 anyway. A move like standing medium kick that's not special cancelable, or even crouching medium kick that's not special cancelable but seem like good pokes, standing medium kick seems better, right? Further range. Important things to check about these normals is whether you can super off of them, special cancel, and if you can't, V-trigger is always important as well. So when you're thinking about the character, right, standing medium kick, you're like, man, that's a great poke, too bad I can't special cancel it. But when you try a V-trigger cancel and you find out you can juggle, right, that's an important thing to note. So in your notes, that's where I would be like, you know, maybe think about this as your V-trigger button, right? Almost every character has like a V-trigger button, a button that you want to hit when you want to activate V-trigger. So this seems to me like pretty important as like a V-trigger button. Wow, does heavy work off of it? It does. It's interesting. So that's something to keep in mind. Maybe try crouching medium kick as well. Doesn't seem like that works. So that doesn't work. We tried forward heavy punch earlier. Right? Great. We've learned a lot of things about like the grounded normals already. Just like kind of messing around with basic stuff in training mode, right? Pull the notepad back up. We got pokes, medium kick, and then we'll put in parentheses V-trigger, VT, just so that we know that that might be a good V-trigger button. And then what else is non-cancelable? Crouching medium kick for the low, standing heavy kick, right? That's an important one to remember. And also forward heavy punch. We'll put V-trigger in there as well, right? Because that seems like it might be a good one, right? And then sweep. Sweep seems pretty far as well, so that's probably something that's worth bringing up. So we'll just put that on there. Right, so we have like a nice little list of buttons. We already know that if we want to cancel into something, we have light kick, crouching medium punch, standing heavy punch. Those are the three that we so far seem like pretty good options. And then for far ranging pokes, we like medium kick, crouching medium kick, which seems okay. Probably the worst of everything we've listed so far. Standing heavy kick, which is great. Right, this seems great. Really far range. And then forward heavy punch, crouching heavy kick. Right, all seem like pretty good buttons so far to keep in mind as far as pokes go, right? So that's what we have so far for pokes, right? That's the basic things about pokes and cancel. Cancelable buttons and just like far pokes. So what you kind of think about now is like, okay, so if I want to whiff punish somebody and I don't have V-trigger, I want to use light kick, crouching medium punch, or standing heavy punch probably, right? If I want to cancel into a dash punch. Which, that might be important, that might not be important. You kind of find out as you go and look through the character. Pokes, right? We've covered some that seem like good V-trigger activation points, which are really important to note in this game. Good V-trigger buttons are like one of the most important things. The next thing you want to look at is anti-airs, right? So we'll make another category that's anti-airs, AA options, right? And we'll try some anti-air options. One of the reasons I like picking Mika, besides her having a 3-frame and 4-frame jab, so you can test things on block, is she has good jump buttons. So you just set her to playback recording, action recording settings, start recording, walk up, heavy punch, right? Jump heavy punch. You know what I'll have her do? I'll have her backdash heavy punch, right? Okay. We'll set it to playback. And let's try that back heavy punch. Maybe we need to be a little further back. Back heavy punch. That seems like it might be an okay option, right? We're not exactly sure. Trade sometimes, right? This is something that we saw earlier when we were looking through the command normals. We can special cancel it. That's good to know, right? That's an important thing that not all anti-air normals can do that. Crouching heavy punch, universally almost always an anti-air option. And one thing to think about, just as a general fighting game thing, is that G is a tall character, and tall characters tend to be a little weak to high jump options that hit really low on their heads, right? Part of the weakness of being tall in fighting games is that things in the air can hit you sooner because your hurt box is higher up. So that's something to think about for G. Like when it comes to close range jumps, maybe there's other options, right? You might try like a V skill. Hits behind him, which is great. Tall characters generally tend to struggle with anti-airs that just go right, or jumps that go right over their head. That can get stuff. That's good to know. Crouching heavy punch seems pretty reliable. Can we special cancel? We can special cancel off of it. That's good to know. There might not be anything that's that valuable after special canceling it, but that's just something to keep in mind. Try the V skill. V skill seems great. Right? Seems like it might work. Sometimes it'll get stuffed. We did it maybe a little late. Right? That's nice to know as well. So these are things that you can start to piece together. So we'll just go to AA options, right? We have back HP, and we'll put in here so we don't forget. Cancel, okay, right? Canceling is okay. We'll do crouching HP. We'll put cancel okay as well. And same thing for, what was the other option? We did V-skill, right? V-skill was the other option we tried. We didn't see, one thing that we didn't test, and I should have tested off the V-skill, is if you can do V-skill into V-trigger, right? That's probably something that's worth checking. Right. Can we get a juggle off that is the question, right? This is just like the process of like, yeah, juggle seems like it works, right? So this is just like the process of messing with the character, right? And for V-skill, we can put like VT and juggle, right? Just in case. So now we have some notes on the character, right? And the thing is that these notes they're pretty basic, right? They're kind of like primitive notes to start with, right? For a character. Like if you look at it, what we've thought about so far, maybe 10 minutes, we're just messing with it. What we thought about so far is that what we've learned is that his mobility seems decently average. EX dash punch is an option. Seems like it's okay to help me out. We looked through his normals. We found out like, what's good here, what's good. This is great if you have bad memory, by the way. Just like we found out great normals that you can cancel with. We found out some buttons that seem like decent pokes, especially buttons that have V-trigger activation points. Super useful. Right? That's super useful to know in this game. We found some okay anti-airs. And I think at this point, most of the time, this right here is enough to have a basic understanding of the character. I think right now, just doing that little bit of homework, you have like enough figured out about the character that you sort of know what's happening, right? Now all you need to do is start to look at specials. Start to think about the special moves. And after that, basically, you start to think about game plan and kind of what they do, right? So let's go back. Let's turn this off. We'll have Mika stop jumping at us, even though Mika players never stop jumping. And we'll just hit the command list, right? So we already looked through the unique attacks earlier. This is an interesting one. Down, down, and 2 kicks, right? We didn't test that one. And that's something interesting. But we'll look at the special moves. We'll look at the special moves first, right? So for special moves, it's one that I've been using a few times. DP with punch is this dash punch here. And it seems like the way it works is it goes a little further and a little slower with each version that you do, right? So like most special moves, light is short range version. The medium version just goes in the middle, and the heavy version goes farther, and they're slower. And one thing that's important to test immediately is, okay, can a light button combo into the medium version? No. It combos into the light version, but not the medium version. Medium button into heavy version doesn't work, right? So the general rule seems like whatever button you hit, that's also the strength of the dash punch you should do. Medium into medium version, great. Heavy version into heavy version, great, right? That's what it seems like so far. It seems like EX version works off of lights, right? That's important for us to know, right? That's like a nice thing to check. And you can check, is the damage the same? That's a great question too, right? So light does 100 damage. Medium's 100 damage. And heavy's 100 damage, right? So they're all the same. Same damage. Command list, right? You hit the command list, check some smash under with kicks, right? So smash over, smash under. Interesting. And that's something that we checked earlier, right? Light kick into the medium smash with a punch doesn't work, but it also doesn't work with a kick, it seems like. And it seems like the smash under does less damage, right? 80 instead of 100, that's good to know. And EX version, maybe it doesn't allow us to do a juggle after. That's one thing that we didn't try earlier, or we never tried this one. So it seems like the smash over gives us a juggle, and maybe the smash under does not. That's good to know, right? That's something to think about when you're deciding which version to do. So we have a low version, and earlier we tested and found that we could V-trigger cancel that version. Can we do the low into the V-trigger cancel? We can. This is great. So now we know that our EX dash punch is not only a decent mobility option because you can cancel it into V-trigger, but we have a low option out of it, right? So low option EX into V-trigger is a starter point. It's an activation point. Great. Now we have a bunch of V-trigger activation points. We have medium kick, we have forward heavy punch, we have standing heavy kick, and we have EX dash low, right? Great. We have a bunch of different ideas that we can try out here. So that's just looking at the first two special moves, right? And the thing to note is that you want to look at the character's EX versions and also try different punches, like different commands. So let's say that this move is DP plus 2 kicks, right? Right there I hit light kick, medium kick. Is heavy kick and light kick different? Is medium kick and heavy kick different, right? So maybe test the range. Maybe see if one version goes further than the other or something like that. You never know. It seems like it doesn't change much. But now you know, right? So we'll open up the notepad. We looked at the smash under and over. Pretty similar special moves, but just slightly different. Do smash over. If you want, you can put the command here, right? Like smash over and then put DP plus punch, right? And what I would put here is whatever is important about the move, right? They all go different strengths is different distances, right? But I think that's something that we'd probably remember. If you want to put something like equal strength to the button that you do it with, right? So light version, light smash over, medium button, medium smash over, etc. You can put something like that. But for me, the main thing is EX juggles, right? EX leads to a juggle. That's important. Can cancel into VT. And I think for smash under, we'll put, whoops, damn it, DP plus kick, and we'll put EX no juggle, low, and can cancel into VT, right? These are all important. There's little notes, right? But it helps me out. So command list. We already looked at smash under. G burst is next. G spin kick, and he has a long kind of list of command lists compared to a lot of characters. G burst, right? Quarter circle forward punch. Seems like it's a fireball. Seems like all three of them shoot in the same spot, right? We'll see if the damage is the same. 50 damage, right? 50 damage on all of them, right? Right. Nothing super sensational about that. EX with light punch, medium punch. EX with heavy punch. Nothing different. Just basic projectiles, what it seems like. Right? G bursts. G burst. We'll put Core Circle forward punch. Seems like a regular fireball, right? We'll put EX OK, just so we remember that we can do EX off of it. Because sometimes you don't remember if a special move has EX versions or not. Spin kick, core circle forward kick, right? Light kick version, medium kick version seems a little slower. Heavy kick version a little slower, a little bit more range. Seems like just like his dash punches, right? Notepad still on the screen, damn it. I thought I closed it, my bad. No knockdown on this, no combo. But we can check something like counter hit and see something like, all right. That's pretty good. Nice. That's pretty good to know, right? What if we're kind of far away? That seems great. It's an important thing to note, right? The next thing to check is obviously if you set your opponent to guard and you set their guard recovery action to crouching jab, which is 3 frames, can it be punished? Because it's very rare that a move that looks like this is safe, right? Just full screen. Whoops. I tried to block that. So it seems like it's at least -3, right? Maybe one thing that's interesting to test is maybe see if they can duck, crouch, right? If it's more or less punishable, right? Seems like it's unsafe. Can we space it out to make it safe? All right, that seems good. If you space it right, it seems decently safe. Like, oh yeah, right there. How are you gonna reach me? So 3 frames seems unsafe, right? It seems like it's at least -3. You can set guard recovery action to something else. Let's try EX Peach. All right, EX Peach. All right, let's see if EX Peach will punish it. Maybe it's unsafe enough that EX Peach works. So -5, right? Even when pretty far spaced out, right? Like, so some characters will have options here, some will not. So now we know. Now we know, right? My EX Peach. Ooh, that was so well spaced. Oh, that one wasn't. Dang, it's very hard to keep safe, huh? So -5, that's good to know. So -5, right? We've learned that the move is -5. You can see that because where it says frame up there, after she blocks on my side in the top, it's this way, If you look where it says frame under G's health bar, after I do this, it says -5. So I wanted to check the EX Peach. Now we can test other moves too, right? The smash, -4. What about the low? -8. -8 is harder punish than EX Peach. It's much worse. And there's no way we're spacing a -8 move to be safe against EX Peach. We'd have to be mad geniuses. Oh man, there's no way. That's why I like Mika. She has great 3, 4, and 5 frame punishing options. So, yeah, she's a good character to test stuff like this on. Okay, so we've learned some things. We've learned some things about a few of G's moves so far. So let's put the whatever it's called on here. G kick. G kick. I don't care about move names anymore. I've decided I gave up. Core circle forward kick. I keep thinking it's core circle back because of Able wheel kick. What do we put on here? -5, right? Can be spaced to keep safer. Counter hit, combo, like it, right? That's what we know about the G kick. G impact, half circle back kick, right? Command throw. We get a juggle afterwards. Seems like it's almost only light dash punch. Maybe I can do EX. Maybe not EX. Okay, that's pretty good to know. EX low combos off of this. So if I want extra damage. So you can combo off the command throw, right? EX command throw. What do I get off EX command throw? Yeah, MK spin kick seems to work. If there's a juggle here, it seems like it's a little harder to do. Ah, there it is. So that maybe is a little bit of extra corner carry. We'll see where the range is, right? One backdash, EX does not reach. One backdash, light kick reach. Heavy kick reach, no. So that seems like a range thing. What about jab? Jab short, does that reach? Maybe jab, jab? Command throw range is important. Crouching light kick into it works, or crouching jab into it works. Heavy command throw works, wow. Standing light kick into command throw works. Seems like the range is pretty far, right? Crouching medium kick. Yep. Standing medium punch. That's excellent. Standing medium punch and a command throw. That seems great. Well, that's some important things to know. So half circle back kick is our command throw, right? Command grab. Half circle back plus K. Can juggle after an EX for extra corner carry, maybe. Carry question mark, right? We learned that. And then now it's like, all right, does G have any other special moves? Like, let's keep looking through the list, right? Let's keep it moving here. G charge. This is where it gets confusing. G charge changes when holding a button. During a G charge supported attack, you can hold 2 punches, right? So it's like a G charge, down, down, 2 punches, right? And now you see that the world is lit up over there. If we do it again, it lights up. This seems to be the max, right? And now what does it do, right? We don't seem to be walking any different. We don't seem to be doing anything different. Special move, maybe. Right? That's when it's like, whoa, right? There's something going on here. It seems like it's powered up my special moves. Fireballs get the extra explosion on them. That seems pretty far. EX version. Is it knocked down? It does not. Spin kick has the extra fire on it. 2 hits now instead of 1. This is where you have to start to test stuff, right? Now you're like, okay, what happens when I'm, whoops, level 1? Still 2 hitting fireball. And this is a good time to check damage. Whoops, no, not the main menu. So, regular fireball, 60 damage. I don't need that, actually. Regular fireball, 60 damage. When we're level 1, or level 2, I guess. 88 damage if both hits hit. Right, extra damage on that. Even higher level, 110 damage. See that? So, leveled up fireball gives us extra damage. Max level gives us a knockdown. That's great to know. We'll reset. And level 1, spin kick, right? I also have counter hit on, so it's a little higher than it would normally be, but I'll turn counter hit off. Right? Wow. Level 1, combo off of it. +5. So, level 1, we get the combo off this with no counter hit, right? Before, remember, we had to get that counter hit. Now, an important thing to test is what happens to the frame data, right? Right here, level 1, smoked. Level 2, smoked. Max level, safe. That's good to know. So now we know that when we're max level, we have a safe wheel kick that goes very far, right? And then we tested smash, that's -8 still, even on max level. -6 still, even on max level. I think it was -4. So it's even more negative when it's leveled up. It's the reverse of the spin kick. -3, right there, -4, right? -4 is what we had before. -6 when I'm leveled up, right? It's good to know. No levels, -4. See what I mean? So this is where G gets a little bit more complicated, and we're gonna have to do some backtracking on our notes. Yeah, everything I'm doing right now, I've done before, and I know because I've play G. But, you know, we're going over how to learn the character from scratch, right? So this is where you can say, like, we'll just call it the level up, right? Down, 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 plus punch. Oh, actually, it's 2 punches, so we'll put... level 2/3 change properties on moves. And this is where you would be like, all right, level 2, right? Or level 2, and then you'd put, like, you know, and you start to list what all the changes are. Like, level 2, my smash over does this, and my smash under does this, right? And then level 3, my smash under and my thing, and then this is that, and it's not safe, now it's negative, now you get to combo, like whatever it is, right? So that's where you do that part. And then you'd move on to the next one, right? I'm not doing all that. You should do it, but I'm not doing it. And then during a G charge, supported attack. So yeah, we pondered that earlier, right? I guess I'll turn her off, guard off. We pondered that earlier as well. So as it looks, we can level up at the end of our dash punches and stuff, right? It seems like it's most moves, right? Can you do it off of command throw? You can take a level up. That's awesome. So now we know. And learning that we can do that, by the way, is a really important thing about this character. So learning about the level up is a huge part about this character. Not only that, it also means that now, like in the notes, at the end of all your special moves, you would put V-trigger, and you would go over like what the V-trigger does and like how it affects the character and all that. And then after the V-trigger, you would put V-reversal and the command and what the V-reversal does. So V-trigger, we'll put VT1, makes people die. And V-reversal, get away from me, nerd. And then at the end, you would put like game plan question mark, and then we'd start to fill this out, right? So the game plan would be like, maybe zone with the fireball. We've seen that. Use counter pokes to gain levels, right? And then after that, we would maybe put like, what else do we think we've learned so far? Levels seem pretty important. They make the character pretty sharp, right? Use counter pokes to gain levels. If no levels, and then I'll put another line down here. Use EX dash or poke to get into VT, right? So that seems to be our basic game plan so far. Just off the stuff we've learned so far. That's why there's a question mark there, right? It seems like maybe the game plan is zone with the fireballs, use the counter pokes that we've learned that are pretty good and they cancel into the dash punch. I can level up off of them to get my levels. If I can't find an opportunity to get levels with that, then I use the EX dash punch or one of my far pokes, which all seem really good, to get into V-trigger. That seems like the basic game plan, right? Pretty straightforward once you really think about it, and that's like the play, right? So now we're like, all right, like this is my notes on G. This is what I figured out after messing with him in training mode, 25 minutes or whatever, right? This is what we've learned. So that's what you have written down, and that's how you figure out the character. So now this is the part where you jump online and you try G, and you're like, all right, or you play offline and you say, all right, how does G work? So you try G. And maybe there's some things you're wrong about. Maybe you thought crouching medium kick was great, but it turns out that it's not actually that good and you don't like it that much. Or maybe it's better than you expected, right? Maybe you don't have maybe the anti-airs you were looking for and you're like, man, what am I supposed to do here? Like, I need to lab some anti-airs in this situation or that situation. What if they're jumping over my head? I didn't try any of that. I didn't think about that stuff. So you're like, all right, let me try that. Maybe instead you're thinking to yourself, okay, I was kind of wrong about the game plan. Instead, I want to do this, right? Or you're thinking, man, you know, when I play G, I really struggle to fight Akuma, right? I really can't figure out how to fight Akuma. That's one thing that might be struggling for you. So what I would do in that situation is I would recommend that you go into training mode and try some different things that Akuma is giving you issues with. Or what I do often when I'm struggling with the matchup is watch it on YouTube. Type into YouTube, G versus Akuma, right? And what'll happen is you will get matches at high level play of good players, right? So a lot of the times, let's say we're on YouTube, right? And I type in SF5 G versus Akuma, right? You type in something like that. then you start to look through different matches and you start to figure it out. You're like, all right, I see XSK Samurai versus 801 Strider. Let me watch that and see what's good, what's bad, what happens. Is there good stuff right there? I see 801 Strider versus Christatarian. All right, maybe I'll try that, right? I'll try to figure that out. I see Sako's G versus a super high-level online Akuma. Maybe I'll click on that, right? Haitani Akuma versus Inaba G. Awesome. And even if the G player is losing, you probably... Martin. Jesus Christ. Maybe even if none of that's working, then you would be like, all right, well, I at least get some information and some notes, maybe learn some punishes, maybe learn some things that you didn't know about before, right? That's like the general process of a character. And that's how you just begin learning them and then start with whatever else you're interested in. And this is sort of the general breakdown of like what I do when I'm learning a character. Oh man. When I'm learning a character from scratch in any game, this is like the process you go through. Maybe I should play some G Online now. I think I need to use a little bit more standing medium kick too. That reminds me. Oh my god. Are you serious? Man, look at this connection. What? Bro. What the hell just happened? Come on, dude. That hit him? Oh my. Ooh, dude, come on. I don't even know what to say.